welcome back to Up the Villa. This is my match reaction. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2. If you are new around here, make sure you are subscribing. Smash the likes. Let's help me personally get back on track with the algorithm after the international break. And comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, I'm reacting to the match that we've just seen. And I've got to be honest, Villa fans, I'm not the happiest. I am really frustrated, annoyed, and just slightly angry with how we're defending. You know, a lot of you, and there was a guy, I can't remember his name, coming to today, and he's like, you know, you're so positive, you're always buzzing. And I think I am, but I think when things are bad, then I've got to mention the bad things that are sticking out for me. And I don't like ranting and raving and moaning and looking for negatives. But if I feel it after what I've seen, then it's just not good enough. Like, the defending today is absolutely tragic. Now, on a match reaction, I don't normally go in depth, but I'm going really in depth on this. I've got the tactical pad open and we're going through these goals because it's simply not good enough. And yes, we fought back. Yes, we got the point. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm not being funny. We've played some decent stuff today. We've dominated the game. Absolutely dominated it. 70% possession. The shape's good at times when we set and we're knocking it about and we're creating some chances. But I can't forgive the defending for the goals. I just can't. So it doesn't matter how well we've played or how well we've got back in. We cannot keep defending like this because it's appalling. And it's not just one person's fault. You know, you can't just go, your last man, oh, it's your fault. You know, what's happening with our defending is happening way before the moments where we're having an absolute disaster class anyway. So I'm going to go straight in and I'm going to go to the first goal in the 4th minute. Now, they started pretty well, Palace. They were knocking it about quite nicely. And we've already got a problem straight away in this game for me. So we're going to the first goal. Look at the double pivot. Where is the midfield? Where is the player that's the deepest line player that's going to cut out a pass or break this down or step in and retrieve this ball? Because we've got a midfielder here and we've got a midfielder here in Tielemans who can't get the ball, who doesn't get the ball, and it goes through our midfield and it's into their striker. I spoke about Mateta before the game. You cannot allow him to have the ball, hold it up, and allow those runners to come into him because Mateta was brilliant. You know, he's not the best when he's sort of in and around the box at times, is he? But his hold-up play, his central play, and his link-up was brilliant. So we've already had a mare before we've even started because we don't have a midfielder that's sort of in and around there that's just going to like step in and cut it out. We're so exposed in the 4th minute. It's a joke. And then we go back to high line for life again. And this to me looked like an Emery brought this back to me because I don't think the high line has been this high all season. But what is that? You know, like if you've got young kids or you get into the game at a young age, the first thing you know about football is that you can't be offside in your own half. So why is the line so high? It's literally ridiculous because we've got a player here in Paru stepping, looks like he's stepping out. What's the point, mate? Because there's a player that's in his own half. You've got to go backwards. We've got Maatsen on the halfway, and we've got Carlos, who's a little bit deeper. Fair enough, because that's fine if he's a bit deeper. But we've got to get that recovery. The ball goes into Mateta, a through ball in behind, and Sar's away, and it's literally 1-0. That is our defending. How can you defend like that? You've bypassed the midfield, an easy ball into a central striker who's turned, played it in behind, and you've had a runner from inside their own half and we're trying to play a high line on the halfway line. It's ridiculous. I cannot come on here now and start going, but we got back into it. If you defend, I can't overlook this because it's literally like under sevens. That's probably doing like an under sevens disservice because they don't play on a full pitch. But what can you say about that? Absolutely tragic. And then we'll go back to we've got an image here of Maatsen through, and thankfully he didn't pull him down. But we go back to this goal. What happened against Liverpool, guys? We conceded. Was it one goal? One goal off our own corner, and we've literally done the same thing again. We've conceded off our own corner, and the big frustration is we huff and we puff and we get back in the game, and you're thinking, right, Villa, let's go back into it now. Let's settle back down. Let's get back into it. Let's focus and go on and win this game. And the defending here is just, again, it's comical. It's all at sea. We shouldn't be conceding a goal, having the advantage of taking our own corner. So we see here now that the ball's being played out, and we take a look at McGinn's position, and McGinn is going backwards at the minute, which is fine. McGinn needs to go backwards. But what McGinn does, which is ridiculous, is he goes there. He goes to retrieve the ball, and he allows the Crystal Palace player to run off him. McGinn should sense this player here now and think, I have to make this challenge. If he has to make this challenge, he has to win the ball. He cannot not win the ball, because if he doesn't win the ball, the Crystal Palace player is through on goal technically. And we make another bad decision where we're trying to win the ball back. They play the ball forward, and we've just had a complete disaster. But again, like, we've got a bit of cover here, but where's the rest of the cover? Guys, this was just, I just can't understand, like, how we're getting ourselves into this position where we're so vulnerable on transition. We shouldn't be this vulnerable. And the biggest thing as well, and I can't get this one out of my head as well. And I haven't got a picture to show you this one, but I was seething. We had just got back to 2-2. 2-2. We got back in the game. And what do? They literally go down the other end of the pitch and should score. I can't catch my breath with it. We got back at 2-2, and they had that massive chance to make it 3-2, having just scored. Oh, guys, the defending, I'm sorry, is not good at all. And until we sort out this defending, you know, I think we've just got to really make sure that we're being tighter, and we've got recovery players in there. I'll go back. I'll show you the Aston Villa now. Show you the passing network for Aston Villa, and this is where I think is part of the problem a little bit. So here we go now with the passing network for Aston Villa in this game. So what we can see is that you'd look at that now and you'll think, right, that's quite good. There's a lot of intricate work there. The midfield looks like it's working. We've got width out wide, which is fine. And a lot of that is quite good. You know, what do I want? You want your width out here. We want Maatsen having width because we want him. We know our left side. We know he's got to go forward. We want Leon Bailey to have width and offer that width. We want to have him with a network, and the network around here is actually quite good. But the big problem, the biggest problem we've got is this problem. This is the problem. Manchester City will look like this. Real Madrid will look like this. A lot of teams will look like that. And it's fine because it shows that you've got more players going forward. You've got more attackers. It shows that you're having more territorial advantage on the opposition, which is fine. It's showing that you're going to have more possession, which is fine. But the fundamental thing about this is this back two has to be protected. Because if it's not protected, what's going to happen is you'll have little runners coming through there. You'll have runners that can go through there. You'll have runners that can go through there, either side of that back two. So when I talk about Villa and I look at a lot of the oppositions, and this is how we exploit Spurs, how we exploit Arsenal, how we exploited Bayern Munich. Teams are doing this to us. And if you don't have the protection, I'm sorry, you're just so isolated. It's a joke. The other aspect of it is if you look at the average position of Pau Torres, he's very left. He's very left-sided. So really, if he was in and around there and you've got Carlos probably there, the two of them together are a little bit more central. So there's a little bit more protection with them being closer together. But the fact that Pau's so far on the left, and we've not really got that protection from there because he's going forward. But then the big fundamental factor is that when we talk about Kamara and how good Kamara is, your deepest line midfielder is in the opposition half. So that protection from the central midfielder, and yes, we're having a lot of the ball and we're having possession, but there needs to be a little bit of defensive nous in there somewhere. That little player that can break it up and just stop the counters. Today, the central midfield was far too attacking. It was far too attack minded. Neither one of them had the capabilities in this game to sit that tiny little bit deeper. And we started to see a few mistakes where there was those little square passes that were being cut out to each other. And once that happens, it's okay playing them as long as they come off and as long as they go to our player. But the minute those little square passes from a Tielemans to a Barkley or a Barkley to a Tielemans get cut out, well, I'm sorry, once those get cut out and you've got attacking Crystal Palace players that are in that little pocket through there, we're exposed. So that's the big frustration for me. The biggest frustration is that for all of the good stuff that we did with the ball and the chances that we created and good areas that we got ourselves into, this is a big letdown because we just can't keep being transition line. All of the goals we concede are exactly the same. They're all our own undoing. They're all our own problem. And that's the biggest thing for me. It's individual errors that are costing all of these goals. And if we know that the opposition are going to play on transition, like Oliver Glasner after the game has said, Villa are a perfect scenario for us because we know we'll get a 2v1 with Sarr and Mitchell or Sarr and Munoz. They know that they're going to get that little 2v1 there because they know this player's been completely bypassed and he's left exposed because of the protection that's not there from the midfield. So that's really frustrating for me because there were some really good things. Like Ollie Watkins' goal, I thought was a really good goal. He led the line really well for the goal. I thought his touch was absolutely sensational here, just to knock it round the keeper. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was really good. We had the Bailey shot that just came up here with his right foot. Again, perfect. We're in the scenario that we really want to be in. But again, we were getting into some good areas and it just wasn't quite coming off. Like I felt like, I'll be brutally honest with Bailey. I actually don't think Bailey played that bad today. I don't think Bailey was that bad. I think he started the game and it was frustrating when he kept losing the ball. But Bailey was a big threat for Villa today. And he got to the byline a couple of times and he had the cutbacks. He's hit the post. He's technically won us the penalty. So a lot of the good stuff that came through Villa today, Bailey did well. I thought he did okay. Was he at his scintillating best? Probably not, but he played okay. And I'll be honest as well, at the game today, the moans and groans around him, it's a bit embarrassing because it's just like every time he got the ball and he lost. Everyone was hammering him, and I'm like, just back him, man. Just let him grow into the game. We can't just keep going at him every time he loses the ball. Like wingers, if a winger has 5 opportunities, he's probably going to win the battle twice against a fullback. That's just the way the metrics are with attacking wingers and fullbacks. But I thought he was okay, and I actually feel like the substitutions at the end of the game from Emery, I think killed it. I think bringing on Philogene and taking off Bailey and taking off Rodgers and bringing on Buendia, our attacking impetus when those changes happened, that we lost it. When those changes happened in the hot, I didn't think we were going to get back in the game. And Philogene had that one where he rocketed it across, and we had a foul because we made a foul in the box. But what was the attacker meant to do? So I just think, all in all, that is where I'm at. Again, I could show you the Crystal Palace passing network, and again, it will highlight the game plan from Palace. Get the ball into Mateta with a little layoff, and then you'll get the runner of Sarr, you'll get the runner of Devaney running off Mateta. And that's something that I spoke about in the predicted lineup as well. When Mateta goes deeper, you'll have those 2 number 10s that are running off him, and that's exactly what happened as well. Mateta was the player that did so well for him today, because this link up between getting that ball over our defense and exploiting us time and time again. You know, we had that massive chance at the end of the game where they hit the post. You know, they had the massive chance where they hit the post. Munoz can't steer this in. We're just not helping ourselves at times. You know, there's a couple of loose passes that are going out of play. Shouldn't really be happening. So that's where I'm at. Some of you might think I'm being really negative, and you could react whenever and think tomorrow or whatever, and feel a bit calmer about it. But you know, I'm very passionate about this team, and I want it to do well. But the defending like that is just, I just can't get it out of my head, guys. I can't get it out of my head. Again, another little thing that I just don't understand. I don't understand Bogard. I don't understand it, because I understand that Bogard, if someone said to me, pick a right back that's like for like with Concert at right back, Bogard is probably that player, isn't he? And he did do well when we won the penalty. But then to take him off half time and bring Cash on, and we were better. I think we were better when Cash came on. I think that link up with Bailey and Cash was really good. Something that we've been talking about all week, that we need that partnership with Bailey, because Bailey can't be isolated on the right-hand side. You know, we can all slate Bailey and say how bad he's been, but he's isolated out there on his own. But the minute you put a right back that can overlap him and link up with him, Bailey was loads better second half. So why is Nedeljkovic? Why can't you go to Nedeljkovic? Because if you're happy for Bogard to play, who's different to Cash, and Nedeljkovic is like for like with Cash, are you not better off starting Nedeljkovic? Because again, the thing is why the Bogard thing has annoyed me is because if you're Bogard and you're being took off at half time, where's your confidence? You're not building any, are you? So what we're basically doing is he's coming in, he's coming out. He's probably not going to play now because Cash is back. So he's not going to play now, probably, for when if Concer's back on midweek. You're not going to play now for another, until there's probably another injury. So that just baffled me a little bit, really. So, you know, and then if we actually sort of dig a bit deeper and we take a look at the game, and you're thinking, we bossed it. We absolutely bossed it, which we did. We had more territory. We had the bigger spikes of possession and chances that were being created. we're dominating the game. We've got, how much possession we got? We've got 70% possession, an XG of 3.18, 4 big chances, 17 shots, keepers made 4 saves, 10 corners to their 1. Passing, I imagine it's probably going to be near 500, isn't it? So passes, 527 to their 173. Final third passes, we've got 133. Long balls, 51%, which is good accuracy on them as well. Duels, 48% of our ground duels were won. 56% of our tackles were won. They won 73% of theirs. So the frustrating part is the performance is kind of there. We're dominating teams. We're playing well with the ball. It's always going to be a bit slow. We're a possession-based team. We like to get set. Once we get set, we like to knock it around. But my frustration is, if you're going to play slow possession-based football and you're trying to get set, you cannot get caught on transition. The two can't happen. And the two can't happen all of the time. And it can't be a continual thing of where this goal pattern is exactly the same. You look at that first goal and second goal, it's kind of the same goal. It's a ball that's being put through to a channel. They're running off us. There's runners off our midfielders. They're scoring goals. So that's where my frustration really does lie. Some of the ratings, we've got Ollie with a 7.1, Bailey with a 7.0, Barkley with a 7.8, Yuri with a 7.0, Martinez 7.1. So, some of the ratings are pretty high, and I think they probably should be, because we got into good areas, we were doing okay. But that defending, guys, I can't get it out, man. I'd love to know what you guys are saying. I can't wait to read some of your comments and figure out what you guys are saying. Because one of my match reactions, I can't think which one it was. There's a couple saying that I reacted over the top or something. But I just react to how I see. You guys fully know that when I do these, I don't want to come on here and react like that. I don't do clickbait. I don't try and clickbait it and try and put on a bit of a show for views. I'm just reacting my honest thoughts. Generally, sometimes if you've come back in a game and you've come back and it's 2-2, I could probably come on here and be absolutely buzzing. But that I can't get that defending out my head. And I just think, until that defending gets better, then this pattern will keep happening, because I want us to play like this. I want us to have all the ball. I don't mind if it's a bit slow at times, because I know I have confidence that we'll create the chances. I wasn't at Villa Park today, and I was thinking, when it was 2-1, I was thinking we're going to lose this. I always thought we were going to get a chance, and we were going to create something, and we were probably going to score. But it's just that transitional on the back of my mind that we just keep getting broke on. We've got to stop that. I can't reiterate how much we've just got to stop that. We need a deeper line midfielder that's on recoveries, that's not playing too high. The big thing about Kamara and Louise is that they were on this point here. So what you've got is you've got the highest point, you'll have Douglas Luiz. The lowest point, you would always have Boubacar Kamara. But this season, I've been saying it for weeks, it's more like that. It's level. It feels like a little pendulum where one of them doesn't drop, but one of them doesn't go like that. It's like this. And they're just getting caught. And I can go back to the image of the average positions from Villa. Put your teeth in. And look at it. It's like the wrong way. It's like the wrong way around. Surely we need the deeper layer to be where Barkley is a little bit. So yes, we've got injuries, but Emery doesn't make excuses. We're not on here to start making excuses about injuries and we've got Conser out and blah blah blah. It's not about that. So yeah, I am frustrated. I am a little bit annoyed. I do feel a bit better actually. I feel a bit better for getting it off my chest. So if I quickly run through some of the play, I thought Martinez was fine. Howe's okay-ish. Bit loose. Carlos just times looks really good. Like, and then at times I'm just like, oh my god. I thought Tielemans and Barkley were quite loose at the wrong times. Like we can't afford for them to keep losing the ball. I think Tielemans did it quite a lot, but Barkley was the better. You know, and when he had it on full control, I thought some of the stuff he was doing was brilliant and fair play to him. And I think it is tactically a little bit as well, but I think it's just that understanding. I thought Bailey was loads better. Rodgers, I think at times he was off Watkins and he was on the left. I think he's better on the left at this moment in time. Thought McGinn was okay. Could put some good balls in the box. Watkins he had that first shot in the first half, which was a really good save. He was then sort of not clean through, but he didn't shoot, did he? He tried to get a pen. He should have just shot first time. So he was trying Watkins. You know, he was trying. And his goal was brilliant. So there we go. I thought Maatsen was a pretty good. But yeah, got to iron out this defense. We've got to iron out this defense, guys. So we need to really, really work on that defense. I think yes, when Kamara and Onana, they might be better, but you know, home form at the minute, we're not winning. We haven't won in what is it about 7 that we haven't won in. So yeah, so let me know your thoughts. I'm a little bit annoyed, a bit frustrated, but it is what it is, isn't it? So we'll have to be better for the next one. We've got Juventus up next, which is going to be a difficult one. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I know what's going to happen, guys. I'm going to have this image in my head all day and all night. And I might be back in the morning if I think of anything. But yeah, very frustrating. Right, guys, if you've got this far, thank you. If you've got this far and you're new, subscribe to the channel, smash the likes and comment your thoughts. Up the Villa.